Pounding the meat, we are live. I'm Vinny Vegas. We got a special show tonight. I know I say that every show, but tonight's a special show. We have Miss Christine Elise with us. What's up, Reginald? How are you, bud? What's pimping? Duarte, how are you? From Child's Play 2, Beverly Hills 90210, Body Snatchers, ER. I mean, that's a lot of shit. Colt, Chucky, come on now. We ready. But before we get into it, what's up, Anna? How are you? Steven, yo, I agree with you, Steven. Child's Play 2 is the pimp daddy of them all. That's dead ass. What up, Ethan? How are you, man? Thank you guys for showing up, man. This is awesome. We're excited. We're pumped. Thank you. Jameson, that was a really good. Alex is awesome. Joey V, baby, it's a vibe. Yo, do you guys feel the vibes or what? I'm feeling the vibes right now. Some banging vibes. All right, let's get down to business. I grew up watching this movie, and it being one of my favorite movies of all time. You guys know this. You guys know I'm a Child's Play 2 mark. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you the one, the only, Christine Elise. Look at that crowd. They're going nuts.
You're in the crowd.
Huge crowd right now. You look amazing, by the way.
Thank you.
I love the hat. I told you earlier, I love the fucking hat.
Thank you. Drippin', I must say, is a term with me. Being referred to as drippin' makes me feel almost like I just joined the Me Too movement. Seems less than ladylike, but
the swag is dripping. The swag. Okay. You are full of swag. Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I love the doll behind you. We have the same doll, the Trick or Treat Studios Child's Play 2 doll. It looks phenomenal, and we're gonna get into Child's Play 2 now.
All right.
Let's start with a bang, right?
Okay, let's do it.
Let's do it. Child's Play 2. You worked with a gentleman by the name of Alex Vincent.
I did.
I'm sure you know who he is. Emily Valentine. That's her too. She is. He had some things to say about you, and before we start, I would like to play them for you now, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Like Christine and I, who talk almost every day. She's become like my sister in real life. Like we talk constantly. We're like
that's awesome. She seems like a dope person just in general. You know, you can just read people on screen and you could tell that they're not acting; they're just being themselves. She seems like she's really, really cool. You know.
Well, and her social media is brutally honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
She puts herself out as she is for everyone, and she's not shy about her thoughts or her opinions. And I respect that a hell of a lot.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And we just laugh a lot together. We just have a really, really good friendship.
Now, we'll get to Child's Play 2, but did that start at the movie, or did you know her prior to the film?
No, I didn't know her before the film, and it was the experience of the film, a many-year gap, and then meeting at a horror convention and connecting on social media.
Cool.
For the past, I don't know, eight years, maybe something like that.
There you go.
That's my brother from another mother.
That's what it sounds like. So your relationship, I mean, you guys seem very close, you know, and you said it started with the film. What how did you get the call to do the film? I mean, was it something you reached out to do, or?
No, I was barely working as an actor, just a handful of jobs, and had an agent, and she submitted me, and I was, right. I fit the parameters of what they were looking for. I went in and I auditioned, and there's no magic to it. I get asked a lot at conventions. People say panels and stuff like, "How can I get into the next Chucky movie?" And I would feel like a bit of a douche when the real answer is not a fun answer. And I would try to sugarcoat it a little bit, but Don Mancini on a panel didn't sugarcoat it. He's like, "Well, first of all, be an actor. You have to be an actor. You have to be out there being an actor to end up somehow down the road to be in a Chucky movie." And there's a whole lot of sacrifice and stuff that goes into making that choice for your life. So I had made that choice, and I was struggling, and it wasn't until 25 years later it became really evident what a gift that keeps on giving that job really was. But I got it the traditional way. I auditioned for it and in a room with people, and they gave it to me. Thank God.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those films that, I mean, is at the top of your projects. Everyone remembers you from Chucky, of course, and the horror fan base is so hardcore.
Yeah,
aren't they?
They're super loyal. They're super loyal, and loyalty is something that I think is important. So just in life in general. And they are, and Child's Play 2 seems to be. I mean, everyone's got their favorites, but I think that Child's Play 2, if there was a lottery, it would be between one and two. There's the purists that go for the first one, and then so many people like the second one even more than the first. So
that's the same with me. It was always Child's Play 2 for me because I told Alex this. It just seemed more colorful, more fun, had more of a comedic factor to it. And it was just a little more enjoyable, I think. The first one is great, don't get me wrong, but I think with the dynamic with you and Alex in the movie as well, it just added a whole other layer. You know what I'm saying?
I do, and I have a theory about that too. Not only was it more colorful because the factory scene is all in those, the yellow, red, and blue, those primary colors in the factory scene, and like half the movie takes place in that, in that set, on that set. That's sort of attractive to young eyes. There's a reason that kids' toys have primary colors like that on them. And the other thing I think that made it fun for kids was this sort of fantasy big sister thing where two kids are fighting the bad guy with no adults that believe them or can protect them. And that was a bond that I think that most kids, I was an only child, that would be, I didn't have a childhood experience of watching this movie, obviously, but had I probably would have been like, oh, I want a big sister like that too. I want, cool. Like Kyle treats Andy after the initial bit sort of with respect, and I think that that's something all kids crave, and I think that's part of why it was so powerful for people that saw it very young.
Right. Jojo Star 22 says, I can't see anyone else playing that role other than Christine. She made it what we know of it today. Classic. Part 2 is my favorite. Kind of how Terminator 2 is the best. Laugh out loud. So there you go.
Thank you.
There you go. We have a lot of people here to see you. Bro, she hasn't aged. Witchcraft. Ade Dewey Dembella, right? There we go.
Yes, exactly.
And here's the thing. We all know they are doing a TV series. Mm-hmm. Question. What's in it for you? Are you going to be in it? Do you know anything? Do you know anything there?
Fingers crossed,
Come on, right?
They haven't reached out to me yet. Mm-hmm. Just the way the trajectory has been going with Curse and then Carlton with the series, I can't imagine they won't throw me a bone, They have to. I just don't know how big that bone will be. Or if they may not toss it, in fact, because Dawn had reached out to me before Curse and asked if I wanted to come back and play a character in Curse, come back to the franchise, but not as Kyle, as actually the character that played Fiona's mom. Oh. And I was like, yeah, any way to get back in the franchise, I'll totally do that. And it didn't happen because they shoot in Canada, and Canada's got all kinds of rules about how many Canadians you have to have on a project and how many foreigners can be in a project, and they sort of their American content. So they couldn't use me, which ended up being a blessing in disguise, because I'm way more happy to come back as Kyle than to be killed off as somebody else,
Right.
So that said, they're shooting in Canada, I assume, and the way this business works, you never know. You can't really, in fact, you never know you have the job until you have the job, until you're on the set. But even to take it a step further, I had the job in Cult. They had me do that cameo at the end of Cult. Right. And I flew up to Winnipeg in January. And it was literally 40 below. And just for perspective, 40 below is where both centigrade Celsius and Fahrenheit, centigrade Celsius, are they the same thing? And Fahrenheit.
One of those, right? Yeah, they're the same.
Not the 4-letter one. And Fahrenheit, they meet though. 40 below is 40 below in all platforms. So that's how cold it was. And they had gone long that day, and my scene was the last thing on the schedule for the day. And they were like over, and the producers were saying, we have to cut it. We have to cut it. We have to cut the scene. We can't do it. Cut for money. We have to cut it. And Don's like, she's here. We flew her up here. She's been here. She's standing outside. It's 40 below. She's waiting in the snow, waiting for me to say action. We can't not do the scene. And so we did it, but it came that close to not even happening. Even though I was literally standing on the set waiting for my scene to start, it almost didn't happen. So, that's why it's risky to talk about anything until it's done, until it's been shot.
Right. Yeah. And it seems like you and Don have a pretty good relationship. Are you guys close and, keep in contact and all that?
I talked to Don just today, as a matter of fact.
Nice.
I did. So Don, I stayed friends with Don through the whole intervening years. I would say Don and I have friends in common. I actually know Jennifer Tilly is one of Don's best friends, and I know Jennifer through other ways. Mm-hmm. And they have a mutual friend between them named Paul Robinson, who I also know from a different direction. And so it's a little bit of a, incestuous circle of friends that know each other entirely outside of the Chucky franchise.
Right. It seems almost like a family in a way,
It is very much like a family. Because I know, it's literally a family when you consider Brad and Fiona Dourif.
Right.
It's a family that Kevin Yeager, who created Chucky, is married to Catherine Hicks, who played the mom in the first Child's Play. Don is the godfather of the umbrella godfather of the whole thing. Alex is like my, screen and almost real life brother. And I love all of them. I love Fiona, I love Brad, I love Kevin and Catherine and Don. And I have other friends from Scott Williams did the hair on that movie, and he's still a close friend. So it really has been a family. Yeah.
We were promoting the interview with the ad, and everyone was commenting how they hope you're in the television series. They said, we need Kyle. We need more Kyle. I'm telling you right now, you gotta be in it.
I'm not a big religious person, but yeah, I'll take any prayers you have out there to get me in it. I would.
We'll do it. We'll do it for you.
Because not only for the obvious reasons do I want to be involved, because it's going to be, I'm sure it's going to be unbelievably badass. I think for Don.
Oh yeah.
It's an unusual franchise in that Don helmed or wrote all of them. It's the only franchise I think that has never left the brain of one person in its entire lifetime. So it's got this through line, and the characters that stay true, the first characters that ever created, remain true throughout the whole franchise. Even when Andy was played by somebody else, it was still it wasn't some new kid in military school. It was Andy, and he had references to his past on the set and stuff. So and same thing when Alice came back, and you see pictures of me in the apartment, or Andy came back, and
yeah.
So for Don and that's 30 years of storytelling, 7 Chuckies in 30 years. That's not a lot of storytelling for 30 years. Don, if they do, let's say they do 8 or 10 episodes, that's 8 or 10, that in 8 or 10 episodes in 8 or 10 weeks. That's like triple the content of what he's been able to do so far. So to have that much license to tell a story in such a brief amount of time. And Nick Antosca, who did Channel Zero, is super badass as well. As a huge Channel Zero fan, and he's on board. So I mean, just the total badassery of that, and then add that to my recent experience last summer of doing the reboot of 90210 with another sort of family, my other extended family. That was one of my most positive professional experiences, just because it was so familial. So I'm really eagerly looking forward to repeating that experience with the Chucky family. So let's hope they do it.
Everyone's crossing their fingers and toes and everything to make sure you're on the show, because I'm super excited for this. I'm a Chucky mark, and just to have a television series, I was like, yo, that's dope as fuck. I'm ready. but we need Kyle.
I agree. And, and television is where the hippest stuff is being made now, too,
Yeah. Okay. So Child's Play 2, what was it like on the set? I mean, had you seen the first Child's Play, or were you into the series before getting into the second film? Were you a fan of the first?
I hadn't seen the first until I got the audition for the second. And then I went out to Blockbuster, rented it. You had to remember back then, you couldn't just click online and find a movie and watch it on demand. You had to get in a car and drive and go to Blockbuster and hope somebody else hadn't taken it out and not returned it. And I definitely saw it before I was shooting, though, and I'm a huge fan of that installment. In fact, last Halloween, this time last year, maybe even like over Halloween 24 hours, I watched the entire franchise all the way through, and I think they all hold up pretty well. Even some of the ones that are people's lesser favorites of the seven, I think they all held up really well. There's incredible, cameos in most of them by, unexpected people. So, for
the amount of films that are in the series, right? I think it's one of the best series in horror history. For real. I mean, you go to like Friday the 13th. I don't know how many they have, 12, 13 of them. Halloween has 1 million of them. But the Chucky movies, each one has its own little flavor, its own little character,
I think that's part of its longevity, is that Don Mancini is creative and flexible enough to sort of roll with the punches. And when films became more self-referential, like Scream, and he brought that to Chucky, and then that sort of, I think he was the reason he aged Alex up to high school age for Chucky for Child's Play 3 was because I know he told me that he felt he told every story he could tell about the doll fighting a 7-year-old kid, that sort of had made itself out. So then, okay, what do we do? Suddenly a year later he's in high school, and then now it's funny and campy, and then now it's back to horror again. So that flexibility, but also it's key to the whole thing, though, is that no installment of the film disrespects or ignores any previous installment. They're from Cult of Chucky. Every previous Chucky film is still a real storyline Bible for each film, and I think that's what keeps it separate from all the other franchises, and why those ones have bounced around and been reinvented, and Chucky's been dressed up differently, but it hasn't been reinvented.
But it's still that voice, know, and I think that's a major part too, is the voice.
Yeah.
The icon, the legend,
Yeah.
And here we go. I'm going to throw my sister's comment up here, by the way.
Okay.
Christine, you're stunning. Loving the hat.
Thank you.
Loving the hat.
It's because I've got, look at that. I look like a racer head. It's got crazy COVID hair. So
COVID hair. All right. So with the success of Child's Play 2, what was that like? I mean, just seeing how successful the film was. The first one was successful. The second one was successful. How did it feel to be in such a blockbuster movie after being in it?
It was not a blockbuster. It did okay and did well enough for them to make more of them, but it wasn't a blockbuster. I didn't get recognized on the street from it. I didn't necessarily get any work or maybe more, quantity or quality of auditions as a result of it. The big gift for me on that job was getting the job and doing it. It was really, really fun to do. And I got to meet all those people that I met that I now call family. And, and I got paid to be an actor, which at that time was, and again, it's increasingly difficult to make happen. So,
yeah. And nowadays it just seems like everyone, especially with social media and the internet, everyone thinks they're an actor now, putting TikToks out and all this stuff. And
in all fairness to those people, they're fucking hilarious. I don't know how talented so many people are. They're talented at writing comedy, incredibly short comedy, like those Vines they used to do, which I think it's almost impossible to be funny in 30 seconds. And people would have a whole stream, an hour long, of them being funny in 30 seconds over and over and over again. Yeah. I can't believe how great everybody is at editing things, and the whole the wipe challenge is on TikTok right now. And I have absolute nothing but admiration for those people. I think it's DIY at its finest. I think it's a great way, for a very diplomatic way, a democratic way, I mean, for people to get their content seen and for people to get opportunities they would not have gotten in the old days when gatekeepers were agents and studios, and now you can just do it in your living room and butt fuck, pick your state, and have 1 million followers and be 14 years old. They are writers. They are actors. I think, and I look and I'm filled with shame that I can't do what they're doing. I tried myself to do that wipe challenge thing. I had an idea for it. I could not make that shit.
You haven't jumped into the TikTok realm and all that, or?
I have. Well, I have like 60 followers. Don't get it twisted. I have like 60 followers on TikTok, but all I post is anti-Donald Trump sort of comedy. Nothing me, and that's the brave thing. That's real content, not me like putting Trump's face on a donkey or something. That's just being.
You ever think of doing it in the future? Maybe doing some like little skits or anything like that?
I tried it today, but I couldn't figure out the editing part of it. And I'm a fucking editor. I've edited in post-production on reality TV, and I do my cooking show. I shoot it and edit it myself. So editing is not something. It's like a bridge too far for me. But the little, those kids, they're just so clever. Yeah,
it's growing. It's growing up with in the tech age too. It's what they're used to. But yeah, I mean, the editing isn't too bad. There's different apps you can use to simplify it, like iMovie.
I Googled this shit. I watched a YouTube tutorial and I couldn't get it to work because I couldn't get specifically the wipe challenge that I was trying to do today.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get the length of it's not interesting. I couldn't figure it out. Why?
Figure it out.
It's interesting.
Well, hopefully in the future we'll get some TikTok edits from you.
You may. I won't be as good as the people that are doing it now. Like, I only follow like 20 people, but I have 60 fans to take care of on that platform, so I'm very busy. But the people I follow, like they're these little girls, and they're killing it. Mm-hmm. Really impressed.
Hey, it's the new medium now. Nobody watches. Not a lot of people watch cable television now. It's all streaming.
Yes.
Netflix. YouTube.
But that is cable television.
Yeah, I guess, right?
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, a lot of my content that I take in is YouTube. I pay for the YouTube Premium, so I don't have the ads, and it's just incredible. This dark hole you can get into of YouTube, where you're looking how to fix a washer, and you end up learning how to build a lawnmower.
There's a recommendation on the side that somehow is totally disconnected, but now you're learning how to make it fun. So yeah, I know.
90210. All right. 90210. Huge opportunity for you. I mean, it was massive. The filming process. What was it like first getting on set with these stars? Were you starstruck in a way?
I was told not to look at them directly in the eye.
Oh.
I'm kidding. I'm
you liar.
I'm kidding.
It's a joke.
In all fairness, I was actually warned that the girls might not be nice, but the guys would be wonderful. And it was super intimidating. And initially my work was with the girls. And in fact, they were not unkind. I was thoroughly intimidated by them. I was also significantly older than them. So, it wasn't like I was there and we were all going to be BFFs. Like, I had a life, I had a live-in boyfriend. I was 26 years old, and but it was really scary. And the scariest part of all was that I had to sing Janis Joplin's Mercedes-Benz a cappella, having recorded it in a recording studio. So as you played back on playback over the quad with 75 extras and the entire crew, and then I got to sing this song to Shannon Doherty, Tori Spelling, and Jenny Garth. I don't even conjure up a more intimidating thing. I don't sing. I'm a horrible singer. I don't play guitar. I had to pretend I was playing guitar. You'll notice they frame above the guitar because I can't play. And it was terrifying. And I would they'd say cut, and literally in between takes, I would cry. Like, action, don't you buy me? It was traumatic as fuck. But I survived, and they kept me coming back, and it's hunky dory. And it was even scary working for them this last summer, though, like the same people. But it was scary for a different reason. Now I've known everybody for 30 years, and there's not that level of foreign, that there was then for me, and I didn't know them or who they were or anything. And now we're all older and wiser and comfortable.
Right.
But now it doesn't feel like a set. It feels like I'm in a living room with a bunch of people I know doing a scene, which is really, it's easier to act in front of strangers than it is to act in front of friends. So there was a really weird sort of awkwardness that I had. They didn't have that because they worked together for 1,000 years. I did very few episodes of that show. So I was awkward, and Jason directed the second one that I did, and having Jason, who's like my brother and a good friend, and I see him all the time, having him direct me was sort of oddly intimidating too, because
oh wow,
because the stakes were higher almost. Like, he's my friend, and if I suck, and then I'm at Christmas dinner with them, and they're like, he's thinking while he's eating his turkey, like, my God, she sucked on that. She fucking bitch cannot take direction. Like, it's like that. Like, I can't just go away and not hear how much they hate me. Like, I have to hang out with them for the rest of my life, and I don't want to let them down. So that was a different level of pressure.
We're gonna take a couple comments for you here. Bianca says she's also an amazing author and chef, and we're gonna get into that too.
It's funny. I had a friend named Bianca, and she would never be listening to this. I can't imagine she would be, but if she were, I would like to say hi to Henry, Harley, and Hunter, and to Bianca. Any off chance that they're listening?
Hey, we'll say hi. We'll all say hi. Everyone say hi.
Hi.
There we go. All right. Here's a question from Duarte. What was your favorite memory of working with the late Luke Perry?
Luke Perry was the one that made my first episode on 90210 actually tolerable and less terrifying. He was the one that made sure I knew how to walk from the trailer to where the set was. He made sure I had somebody to have lunch with. He's a super generous human being. I think posthumously you've heard nothing, but I mean, you don't often hear people don't talk shit about people who died, but like, I think Luke got exceptionally glowing posthumous praise, because I saw a really wonderful interview with Leonardo DiCaprio when he was working with Luke on Hollywood, and how starstruck he was. He's like, "Oh, it's Luke Perry! Like, he's my generation's James Dean," and it's like that. And DiCaprio is a flutter because you're in the room, and everybody, bar none, everybody says over the top glowing things about you. It says a lot about who you were. Yeah,
and just to have Leo, do this to you.
Yeah.
Come on now.
He wasn't literally doing that, but that's what he was recounting. This is, internal sort of like butterflies that I don't want to put words in anyone's mouth anymore. Yeah.
Mark Cyrus says 90210 over everything. That's what he says. Okay.
Morales. All right.
He goes, here we go. Bizarre Energy says, yes, Mom, me and Henry are watching.
Oh, yay.
Ethan says, was a difficult member of I guess he's saying who was a difficult member of 90210 to work with? I don't know. Do you want to open that can of worms or?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
It's because I've answered this question 1,000 times, and what everybody wants me to say is Shannon. That's actually factually not a true answer. If I were to say it, I'd be a liar. Mm-hmm. But what I will say, I used to say, the girls were intimidating, and I was, but the guys were super warm, and that's still true. They were intimidating, and the guys were really warm. But what's important to know about that is I was playing a new kid in school, and I was kind of literally the new kid in school myself on that set. And that's anybody who's ever been the new kid in school, especially mid-season. Like, imagine joining a grade midway through the school year, which is what this is like. Not just like first day of school, everyone's new, but they're already there, and I'm the new kid. You're super insecure. It's a really insecure place to be, especially when these people are like on the cover of every magazine and on Letterman, and they're being worshipped and stampeded in malls. And so you're super insecure. I mean, I'm a human being, and I have fears and flaws and things like anybody else. And so when you're in that environment, if people aren't going out of their way to be nice the way Luke did, it almost feels like hostility. It isn't hostility. It's either indifference or whatever. But it's not hostility. But when you're so afraid, like, I think she hates me. I think she hates me. She doesn't even know I'm here. She's on the phone with her agent. She's got no idea I'm standing there. Like, doesn't she like me? So it's like that. You internalize a lot of, and because every one of us thinks we're the center of the universe, we think everything that's happening in our orbit is happening because of us, which is 99% of the time not true.
Right.
That.
Dyla says yes. She goes, yes, I'm here for the tea.
Is that a kid thing? I heard the tea is hot. Somebody wrote the tea is hot on one of my.
When you're here for the tea, it's like, spill the tea. That means give us the gossip.
And the tea is hot, then obviously is right. Okay. I've been serving some hot tea lately.
I see, but I mean, it's tea is tea,
I'm drinking wine now. The tea got me in trouble.
Wine is good too.
Mm-hmm.
We have, we'll go back to Chucky for a second, and a couple people were asking this question. Did you see the remake? And I don't know if you want to call it a remake or a reimagining, but have you seen it? And if you have, what did you think of it?
I have not seen it because that would be a betrayal of my friendship with Don Mancini. I feel like it's sort of a hijacking of intellectual property. And again, I served hot tea a couple of years ago on this very topic. If you Google my name and Chucky reboot, you'll get a lot of all caps swearing in headlines. Christine Elise rages against. Christine Elise loses their fucking shit over like the new Child's Play. Because I said, it's out there. At the time, I said it was a fucking dick move to make that movie. And the reason I said that was, one, I'm loyal to Don Mancini. My loyalty, apparently, is something that I need to mete out more privately. Because but I said it because the Chucky franchise isn't some dormant, like I Dream of Jeannie thing waiting to be reinvented. It's Don Mancini is my dogs are playing, sorry.
That's
Don
okay.
Mancini is the franchise is alive and healthy. Don at the time was already in development for this show that I was, of course, then and now praying will go and praying that I will be part of.
You're going to be in it. You'll be in it.
Okay, with the prayers remain. Please don't
put that energy out there. Put that energy out there.
Don't get complacent. Keep
put the energy out.
But I was afraid that the making of that film, one, it's unfair to Don. It's sort of like trampling all over his baby. But two, I didn't know what to root for. I didn't know whether to root for that film to succeed or for that film to fail. The thing that I would root for was the thing that made Don's TV show more likely to happen. That's what my investment is in Don's vision, and then that series goes. And so, it's difficult to get away. I'm like, well, if the new movie fails, does Universal then think, turned out, no one wants a TV show, and so cancel the TV show? Or do they think if this film does really well, they go, oh my God, the appetite for Chucky is insatiable. We have to make a series and get it faster. I didn't know which thing to root for. I just knew that it was quicksand for the Chucky that I'm involved with. And so that's where my it's a fucking dick move comment came from.
Yeah. I think
no need recycling that. Just Google it. It's already out there ad nauseam.
It's already in the googly. I mean, I think you have a point there. Like if the film was successful, that could lead to not only people going back and watching the originals, but the TV show, but I understand you have your loyalty as well. And that's tough.
But there's no way to imagine being Don Mancini. Imagine, it's his baby. You don't want to see somebody else's vision of your baby. That just seems right.
Was there some sort of war or something? Like they didn't agree on anything, or they just didn't want him involved?
MGM owns the rights to the first one only, because MGM didn't. Universal made the second one, so from the second one on, it's Universal, but MGM owned the first one. Okay. But as an aside, while I didn't see the movie because it was sort of been on a portrayal of Don, I have seen a lot of footage of Aubrey Plaza on like Letterman and lots of talk shows. That is one funny bitch. She as aspirationally funny for me. I kind of want to see the Chucky film just to see her in it, because she sort of wasn't on my radar, and I think she's fucking hilarious.
She is insanely funny, and I didn't know who Aubrey Plaza was until the announcement of the film.
Oh yeah.
You know, and I'm seeing who's playing who. I'm like, who's Aubrey Plaza? You know, and then I go to her Instagram, and oh, holy shit.
Yeah.
She is like dry humor, but hilarious.
Yes.
Hilarious.
On YouTube, if you go, Aubrey Plaza is like awkward and weird, is the first one I saw. I'm like, oh God, what happened to this poor girl? I watch it. It's like 17 clips of her being fucking hilarious.
It's her eyes. You know, she goes,
a little romance from afar. For her, I suppose, not with her.
You know, yeah, I mean, I can see everyone had a little crush on Aubrey Plaza. And the thing is, she tells a story and a joke with her eyes. It's funny. She doesn't even have to say anything, and you'll just laugh.
Yeah.
Because of the faces she makes. She's really talented.
Genius.
Joe V says, you've seen dolls that pee. This one bleeds.
Classic. I've gotten writer's cramp from writing that on so many photos.
Oh, dude.
It's the absolute #1 quote that I get asked to. I'm sure Alex has different quotes he gets asked. And so I'm sure that Brad Dourif has his quotes, but that's my quote that I have to.
How many scenes did they have to reshoot because you guys laughed so much at this fucking doll? This doll was hilarious in the second film.
I'll tell you what, when we're shooting and the camera's on the doll, you don't fuck around, because that doll takes 9 puppeteers to run, and the doll is a really complicated diva on set, and wasn't allowed to look him in the eyes. All kidding aside, it's a technical nightmare to get like his mouth when he's talking, to get him to get his body and his eyes and his mouth all to work. And sometimes they'd like do the playback on the for his dialogue, play it back at half speed, so the puppeteers would have more time to get the word.
Got you.
And they could speed it up, and mouth would move more naturally. But it's really impossible to get like a doll. You know, it's like typing 400 words a minute or something to get that mouth in real time. So my point is, the doll is the most important person on set, and the doll is hard to get to work properly because it's a technical thing. So if you fuck up his good takes, it's hell to pay. So you're just praying that you're doing everything you can to hold your own and have your own take be your best take with him, because if it's his best take, it's the one they're using.
Yeah.
So you don't fuck around when Chucky's on.
How many puppeteers did it take?
9.
9.
9, but the whole body is going,
Gotcha.
Somebody's doing eyebrows, somebody's doing eyeballs, someone's doing a mouth, and then there's like hands and whatever else there is, head. I don't know.
And they're all fucking working in sync. That's incredible, man.
It's like an octopus with cords that come out of them, and they're around you in a circle, like, working them like a game.
Yeah. Oh, man. I don't know if I'd be able to hold it. That's why I'm not an actor. I'd be laughing my ass off the whole fucking time with this thing.
Funny you say that, because there's a clip. Don Mancini has a lot of behind-the-scenes footage from Child's Play 2. And Alex has had the luxury of seeing it. I have not. But Alex says that every time they say cut, I burst into laughter.
It's so funny, man.
Sometimes, because you're also doing this stuff that, like, you're pretending this doll's trying to kill you, and you feel like an asshole, because it's obviously I'm doing all the work. Like, I'm doing all of my physicalities, pretending that he's attacking me in front of 75 people that are like, oh, I'm hungry, I want to go to lunch. And you feel like an idiot. So yeah, I tend to crack up laughing after takes a lot, because I'm still a shy person, and acting is sort of an awkward thing for me to do. And
is it still awkward to this day for you? Still still get butterflies and all that, going on set? Still get nervous?
I'm not a nervous actor on set, but depending on what the material I'm doing is, it can sometimes feel embarrassing, Especially auditions are really hard that way, because a lot of times you have to pantomime stuff in auditions. Like, imagine the audition is that you're being murdered, and you have to go, please, no, and there's nobody there. You're by yourself, and it's very difficult. And I feel like
you hear the echo of your scream, because everyone's real quiet.
Yeah, and I did one of those one time, and I was like, oh no, please, no, and then I did this. I went, and see, and didn't get that job. They didn't appreciate. They didn't appreciate my comedy. Apparently, nobody appreciates my comedy. I should stick to being murdered. Apparently,
You're not funny anymore, right?
I don't know.
Apparently, you're a porn director too. I found it on Google. Yeah.
Food porn.
Food porn. That's what food porn. That's right. Was it Video Vegan, right?
It's with Video Vegan. Yeah,
Video Vegan.
With Aubrey Plaza. What's the girl who did direct porn? That beautiful girl who's on OnlyFans.
There's 3 million of them.
Oh, Bella Thorne.
Bella Thorne.
Bella Thorne is a legit actress, but also directed a porn film. She and I are the same person. I wish that we were, because she made like $2 million in one day on OnlyFans. So I could use $2 million.
I heard OnlyFans is legit. Like people are making a ton of money on this website.
Yeah, you got to be putting like super sexy content out though.
Yeah, I don't think it's all nude, right? It's not all nude. It's just like, you know.
No, but it's guys aren't going to pay $20 a month to watch you, fucking flip pancakes in sweatpants. So you got to like do something that's like sexy.
Yeah. I mean, pancakes are sexy. I don't know.
She's doing it naked. But anyway, I'm 55 years old. Nobody wants to see my fat ass on OnlyFans.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
I actually signed up for it. Today I closed my account today. I get rid of it because I signed up because Bella Thorne. I heard Bella Thorne on Howard Stern, and I thought she was a really frank, plainly stated girl, and Howard can ask penetrating questions, if you will, and she answered. I thought honestly and with abandon, and I respect that in somebody. I'm like, who is this Bella Thorne? I think I like her. She's like, I made $2 million in one day on OnlyFans. What the fuck is OnlyFans? So I look it up, and but I can't see what she's doing. I can't see what it is people have paid $2 million to see her do. Yeah. So I subscribed to her for 1 month, just so I could see what you had to do to get that kind of money. Mm-hmm. And basically, it's like, look at me in my bikini photo shoot, and her friends like got an iPhone taking some, side stills while she's, and that's great. I'm not doing any bikini photo shoots, and I haven't directed a porn film, and I'm not 25, and I don't look good in underwear. So
you never know. I mean, there may be like an OnlyFans for like,
for old fat ladies
making food. People pay to learn recipes.
Those are called cookbooks.
Well, they should have like only cooking or something like that. You never know. And you're a photographer too. You're a professional photographer.
Well, I have been paid to do it, but professional is overstated.
That's pro.
Yeah, I did headshots for a while, and I shot real estate photography for a while. I do all the food porn for my blog and my channel. I shoot all the food myself. Yeah.
You still doing the episodes now for the?
I haven't. I got super lazy. I had two reasons why I got lazy. One, I was doing a lot and not getting as much traction as I kind of was hoping to get with it. The show is called Delightful, Delicious, So Lovely, and you can get to it by going to videovegan.com. Okay. And it's like 150 episodes up. It's not like I've been slacking. Like there's a fuck ton of content up there, but I was not just getting traction. So I thought, when I realized I was going to be doing 9 or 200 last summer, I thought, hey, I'll go on a little hiatus and I'll wait till the show airs, and then when I'll put the channel back up after, maybe like I'll find some new eyeballs to put on this stuff. Yeah. And I did a little bit, and I was still into it, but I mean, it's a one-man show. I shoot it, I make the food, I have to eat the food. Like it's like a whole. The good news and the bad news is it's all me. The good news is I can do it at any schedule I want to, and no one's counting on me to deliver a product, and I can do it at 3 a week or 1 every 3 months. Mm-hmm. But the bad news is that too. So it's all me, and I have to eat everything. And so, I'm not going to make a whole lasagna or something and then just eat a piece of it and toss it. So anyway, so I did it, and then the holidays happened, and then fucking the plague fell upon us. And then I got into it for a little bit. It's like, what else am I going to do? I'm stuck in my house. I can't leave. Yeah. So and I did it for a while, but I got to say, and it's sort of timely for today, and I don't want to get into exactly why it's timely for today, but people are so mean and negative. And while I'm a fucking zero fucks given kind of girl for the most part, I don't live my life trying to please people. I don't care if you don't like me. Mm-hmm. when it's more of an abstract concept, that's easy to do. Like, you hate me, I don't care. Fuck are you? I'll never see you.
Right.
And but when they can find you and track you down and say mean things to your face, and like you got a message and you don't know who it's from, and you read it, it's like, go fuck yourself, you fat old lady, you suck. You know,
is this all from your video vegan, the cooking channel?
Vegans are super mean. First of all, vegans are like, not all vegans, but there's a coterie, I think that's the right word, a little, phalanx or a contingent of vegans who are just like nobody else is as vegan as they are, and everybody in the world has to know about it. They're kind of the people that give all vegans a bad name, like the diva actors that will give all actors a bad name, so
right.
I mean, I hate that actors are categorized as being attention starved or anything for attention and pour my tea for me and peel my grape. That's not how most actors are. Being an actor is a much more grungy, terrifying reality than that for the vast majority of us. And being vegan's a fucking tough haul. It's hard not to eat cheese, and it's hard not to. It's hard. It's a hard thing. But so being yelled at. By people who are like, why you? I would say, here's this vegan cheese you can use in this, vegan macaroni and cheese. And then some vegan would be like, why would you want to eat cow pus? Why do you, I would get blocked from vegan groups on Facebook for posting vegan recipes there that didn't look vegan enough. Or because I would say it's like my vegan chicken, or vegan orange chicken, but I would spell chicken the way you spell fucking chicken, but I wouldn't write CHIK apostrophe N or something,
chicken.
To imply that it's not really chicken. I think the word vegan before the word chicken implies that it's not really chicken. That's my stand. But yeah, I get beat up a lot. And then, I get fucking thick skin. I'm a punk rock girl from way back. I can hold my own. I'm from Boston. Don't fuck with a Bostonian. Yeah. I can hold my own with you face to face, but when I'm home, like peeing in the morning, and I'm like, oh, a message, and it just rips me a new asshole for what a loser I am. It catches you off guard, and then there's 17 more than where that came from, and you can't answer it.
Yeah,
you can't see who said it. I always imagine it's somebody fabulous. It's like Idris Elba's writing me telling him I'm a fucking loser.
Absolutely, it's him on a plane on his way to his next set. Let me bother Christine.
It's not him, though. It's some 13-year-old boy in a basement somewhere in the middle of the country. So
yeah.
But I'm human too, and I absorb it. And everybody around me says, you shouldn't read it. And I know I shouldn't read it, and I don't read all of it, or I wouldn't be here right now. But I read enough of it for it to beat me up.
Yeah.
Today, the last 24 hours have been a tough 24 for me.
Yeah, I would say so, right? But you know what? Isn't the saying true? Bad publicity is good publicity. Is that true?
It depends on the publicity, I guess. I mean, it hasn't been Trump, has it? So, but maybe. I don't know. I mean,
you never know. Watch you get a call tomorrow for the Chucky TV show because of that whole shebang.
Fantastic. I'll tell you what. When the last blow up I have, and Christine was raging against Christina, I talked about myself in the third person.
That's fine.
No.
Narrate your life. You're good.
I was doing a headline like Christine rages against, Chucky reboot. Don Mancini was so delighted. He bought me a really beautiful dinner downtown. It was fantastic. So, but I don't think that the parties in question in this particular hubbub are gonna remind me dinner anytime soon. So.
Stephen Hammer has a question for you. Straight to the point. Are you a Canon? Is it Nikon or Nikon? How do you say that? Is it Nikon? Or a Sony girl? What are you?
I'm a Nikon girl.
Nikon.
I'm committed to Nikon. Wow, this light has gotten too bright. I'm committed to Nikon because I had a film camera that was a Nikon, and I invested heavily in lenses for that camera. And Nikon was the first. Nikon came out with a digital body that fit those lenses. So, but actually, that's when I use a camera. But who's using a camera now? I have an iPhone 11 Pro. It takes better pictures. It does all the work for me. I mean, who's using cameras anymore? Let's be honest. Those iPhones, I bought the newer phone for the camera. Mm-hmm. So I'm a Nikon girl, but really, I'm cheating on Nikon big with iPhone.
Some of the videos you take with these phones too are incredible.
This film. There are film festivals that are all shot on iPhones, and that was true 10 years ago. So just imagine what they're doing now. I mean,
It's
with
nuts.
drones and everything, like, forget it.
They're doing music videos with iPhone only, and they look amazing.
Yeah, they look better than they would if the person had tried to figure it out themselves with the shutter speed and the.
That's facts, man. That's facts. All right, so Kyle says, "I love Christine." Straight to the point. Straight to the point for you. All right, we have a couple more questions. Let's see here. Let's see. Here's a comment here. I'm at work right now, just watching. Wanted to say I loved you on 90210, and I have the whole series. His name is Gianni, and Vince, I love you, brother. Love you too, buddy.
Thank you, Gianni.
Gianni loves 90210. All right, here we go. Let me see. Here we go. How did you get the Farren role? I believe this was around the same time as Child's Play 2. Tell the story. Spill the tea, sis.
Yeah, this is some scandalous. This is some hot tea I'm about to pour. Am I using that even right? I'm like probably using like really hippie, like using the words all wrong like parents do. I'm like
it's all right. We're allowed to. We're at least we're trying.
Apparently, if you're not funny, you shouldn't try. How did I get the role? Same thing with Child's Play. I had an agent at the time. I was already an actor for many years, and I auditioned for it. They were shooting it in LA at the time, which it eventually moved to Georgia, but I auditioned for it in LA, and the first episode I shot here was in LA. It required a Southern accent, which I don't do, and I didn't know it required one until I was in the lobby waiting to go in, so I couldn't even like do a little research. Even then, like there was no YouTube, so I don't know what I would have researched, but I couldn't even go rent Coal Miner's Daughter or something and like get an accent together. That's even like Appalachian, not even Southern, but whatever. So I winged it with a really, really, really bad, inconsistent Southern accent. It slips into Boston almost because it's dropping the R's. Can happen in the South End. And
Park the car, right? Is that good? Park the car.
Father, but it's Southern, like the R can go away in the South too, right? So I auditioned, somehow I got the job, and I don't know how. And while my accent is atrocious, my work in that first episode I did with Carol O'Connor was like a childhood idol of mine. It was Archie Bunker, and for me to be a child of poverty, I grew up like on welfare in the 70s in Boston. So, and that's sort of what Archie Bunker portrayed, this sort of working class, family at the time. When in the 70s, working class people were big on TV. And it was like, it's like, oh my God, it's Archie Bunker, and he was incredibly kind to me. I played his daughter, and I did a recurring role on that show, playing his daughter. And they put me in the fucking ugliest clothes you've ever seen in your life. You've seen so many flowers and ruffles and like skirts hitting me at the worst part of my calf. Like really, I mean, Laura Ashley vomit all over me. But it was such a gift and such a great, he's such an iconic television person. So super grateful for that, even though I wish my accent had been more polished.
Well, Jojo Star says, great job pulling the accent off.
Thank you, Jojo. I don't know if you still, if you do, your ears will be bleeding.
Candy's Killer, all right, says, I've seen some of your younger self pics. I guess your selfies or pictures. And you had such an awesome fashion style. Did you have like a punk goth phase? Love you, Christine.
Thank you. At the risk of sounding arrogant, I was part of what created the punk goth scene. There's like there's the punk, the Iggy Pops and the New York Dolls and the Patti Smiths of the, really Ramones sort of early punk stuff. But like I was punk rock by 79. And super punk rock actually.
Wow.
And
79. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Like when it was there was no fucking Hot Topic to go to and buy some punk bands. You had to go to even if you could scrounge your nickels together and go to the Goodwill and buy some wacky, like I would buy like a postal shirt with the postman label on the, and that would be punk rock. Like, I don't work for the post office. Look at me, I'm wearing a postal shirt. Isn't that edgy? Like that was edgy back then. I get made fun of in hallways for having a postal shirt on or something. But yeah, I was super, super involved in that scene in Boston. And the people from the hardcore scene were my friends then. All of them, the iconic people from the Boston hardcore scene are my chosen family, and we are still close to this day. We're a bunch of people that really keep tabs on each other, and
Right.
if you can't find somebody has found them. So you're like, whatever happened to so and so, and somebody has the answer.
You had some success with I guess it was your directorial debut with a short film. Went to over 100 film festivals.
Yeah,
over 20 awards. That's awesome.
It wasn't like a fucking Academy Award, so
that's okay.
It was regional film festivals that gave me awards, which is unbelievably flattering.
So cool, yeah.
It's cool. It is cool because the competition is stiff. I designed that poster. Which
is dope, by the way. I love it.
That's a self-portrait of me. Obviously, it wouldn't be a self-portrait. And I made that even before I shot the film. I was so excited I was going to shoot it that I was like, anything artistic with photography, acting, writing, it doesn't matter to me. Producing, I'm all on board. So yeah, that's the film. And I was, at the time I had already been programming a film festival in Michigan called Waterfront Film Festival, and now defunct for the most part festival, but I did it from 99 to do 16 years from that. And and I shot my short in like 2010, and so I was able to reach out to the filmmakers that came to my festival that year and say, hey, what regional festivals and so do you submit to? Who do you recommend? What's a fun festival to go to? Waterfront happened to be probably the funnest festival in America to attend. It was a very boozy, like 4 days of adult film summer camp. It was great on the water and beautiful Lake Michigan. It was really great. So filmmakers that would tell me like his Sidewalk is great, Oxford is great, Indie Memphis is great, and so what I did was I had the advantage of being not just a sort of a quasi recognizable human being in the film world as far as in the independent film world, and so I would submit to film festivals and say, hey, here I am, Christine Elise, I'm this actor, here's my short. I would love to be in your festival. Will you waive the fees? I will do anything for you. I'll come in, I'll juror for you and be a judge for your film contest. I'll moderate panels for you. I'll whatever you need, I'll do it. Just waive the fee and let me, and mostly they did. And I got into a lot. Because, I mean, in all fairness, I'm not a totally anonymous. I'm pretty close to anonymous, believe it or not, but not totally. And in that world, my little modicum of fame was was some currency, And so I was lucky, and they said yes a lot, and then I met a lot of great people, and that was a great period of my life. I don't do it anymore, but it was fantastic. I ended up programming for like 6 different festivals, and
wow.
I did it this year. I jurred for Sidewalk Film Festival in Alabama this year, just this past August.
You have the book too?
That's the book. Okay, so I shot the film, and the film had its run, and somebody who knows Jackie Collins, a big producer, a big agent guy, saw the short and said, hey, it's really funny, and if you can come up with more material like that, if you can write more stories like that, if you can write a novel, I can get you a 3-book deal. And his best friend is Jackie Collins. I'm like, oh yeah, so it's on. And I literally in the car from that meeting was like trying to create the catalyst in my head of how to start this book, and I wrote it in 8 weeks. I wrote that book in 8 weeks with a 2,000 word minimum a day, which is kind of lost. Like 5 pages is a lot of writing to do 7 days a week. And I finished it. Stream of consciousness. I didn't do an outline. I just was like, initially the concept was going to be that the chapters were marked by holidays, starting with St. Patrick's Day, or starting with Valentine's or my birthday, the character's birthday, and then St. Patrick's Day, Easter, and going through the year marked by holidays.
Okay.
That went away, but that was the only structure I had going in, was every holiday some new story had to happen. And and so I finished it, and I Googled who the 5 most or 10 most important literary agents in Manhattan, and I sent a copy to all of them. And one of them called me back and said, I think it's hilarious. Let's do it. And so she took it on. Lauren Abramo, she took it on, and at Distel and Goderic, I think. I've been saying it right.
That's okay. That's dope as fuck. And it shows, that if you really want something, you go after it.
And so she took it and she shopped it around, just as written. And the comments on it, because my catalyst that I had thought of in the car driving to home on that first day was sort of a rom-com comedy premise, in that the character, she and her male best friend had this, like, if we're 40 and we're not married, we'll marry each other kind of a thing. But like, she realized that he really was her best friend, and marrying him was not at all what she wanted to do. So she goes on this like 6-month, like, desperately trying to find the guy she wants to marry, so she doesn't have to marry her best friend, sort of thing. But the book is darker and dirtier than that, and than a cute rom-com. And so the complaints were like, oh, it's really smart and it's funny and da-da. But it's not a rom-com. It starts like it is, and it isn't one. So people that love rom-coms are going to be bummed by how it ends, or how it develops. And then people who would like where it eventually goes aren't going to even get into it, because they're going to hate the start so much. So right. you got to pick your platform. Are you going to go mainstream and go rom-com, or are you going to go dark and grungy? And I went dark and grungy, and I rewrote about half of it again in about 8 weeks. And so now it's a way better book than it was before. I'm so happy it was rewritten, because I'm 1,000 times more proud of the book it is right now than what it was. It is, to be clear, it's not erotica. It is not 50 Shades of Grey. It's like Larry David is a woman, a bitter chick, having a horrible dating life with some graphic details of why the sex life is bad. But it's not sexy at all. It's like, it's wincing. I believe if you even read the comments on Amazon, because it's available on Amazon.
Okay, I was just going to ask you that. Yep.
Not in bookstores. I ended up having to self-publish it, so it's on Amazon, and most people say they literally laughed out loud. We all use LOL a little too cavalierly.
That's true.
It doesn't mean a thing. It means I'm laughing out loud. And I promise anybody who's not easily offended will literally laugh out loud at least 3 times in the reading of this book. And it's not just for girls. It's super dirty and gross. And there's a lot of scatological stuff. I'm not a poop joke.
Guys, get the book, Bathing and the Single Girl.
I'm serving hot tea in that motherfucker.
She's serving hot tea. What the fuck are you waiting for? Go to Amazon and spend your fucking money.
It's $10. It's not like the end of it. And if you
spend that on shit.
Yeah, and if you're a Kindle or Nook or any kind of, it's like $3 to get it digitally. So
on the iPhone, you could do it on iBooks. All the phones, all the platforms. You just get the fucking book.
It's not a big commitment.
I'm buying a book.
Thank you.
I'm buying a book.
Thank you.
Hey, Andrea, how are you? Anna says, you're a true artist. Christine, what can't you do? She laughed out loud.
I can't get a job. I guess. It's COVID. No one's getting a job. It's hard.
Yeah, it's COVID, all right? Don't sell yourself short. It's COVID.
Otherwise, I'd be in the next, Marvel movie.
Any hopes of turning Bathing into a feature film?
I think Bathing is more of a TV series, and I would love for that to happen. It's not a feature. It doesn't have sort of short little arc like beginning, middle, end the way a movie does. It's more like a lot of beginnings and middles and ends. So I think it's a series. I would like to say it's kind of like if you took girls and graduated them to the Sex and the City world, the show girls, but didn't give them any additional success. It still sucks for them, but now they're just that much older. No glamour, no cosmopolitans in designer gowns. It's still like Brooklyn and further out part of Brooklyn, not even, but is now the hip part of Brooklyn. It's not Gowanus anymore. Now you're in Bay Ridge, and you still haven't succeeded. So that's sort of what the book is, if it were a series.
Hey, you never know, right?
I'm sorry, I'm going to talk Bay Ridge. Oh my God.
You never know.
Headlines now.
Guys.
McCarthy rages against.
Once again, get Bathing and the Single Girl on Amazon. by Christine Elise McCarthy.
Yes.
It is available now. What'd you say? It's $10? $10 and $3 digital?
Hold on. It's a paperback. I have one here. Hold on.
Let's see it. Let's see the paperback. Also, you can see the short film, Bathing and the Single Girl as well.
Yes, if you go to bathingbook.com and don't do it on your phone because the little tab things are so tiny you can't see them, or you can, but just know it's really, you gotta blow your screen up big to find the tabs. And go to the film and you can see the film. It's 10-minute comedy. You can see it there. It's just there. It's posted there. Here's the book that is bigger than my face.
Oh, that's big. Yeah, there you go.
It's a book.
Yeah.
How many pages is it? Let's see. I don't want to intimidate people.
I'm going to guess. I'm going to say 220.
It's 7,000. It's 361. 361.
I'm way off.
It's no novella. Okay. It's a motherfucker.
Yeah.
And it's not some like really like intellectual, tour. It's you could literally put it by the toilet. Just read it when you're sitting and go ha 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 ha, and then put it down till the next time.
That's a better morning piss than reading your comments. Read the book, right?
I didn't know you pieced it down.
Well, you never know. Sometimes I'm lazy.
Now we all know.
Yes. Mike Jones said he just bought it.
Thank you, Mike Jones.
He just bought it.
Thank you.
Christine, this was awesome. Thank you so much for hanging out with me here and the Pounding the Meat crew.
Thanks for having me.
We had a lot of viewers here for you. You have a lot of support. You have a lot of people that still follow you and love your work. And this was fun.
Track me down on Instagram. Like Alex said, I do kind of live a balls out existence on social media, and I kind of keep that condensed to Instagram. That's where I'm most active.
Okay.
So if you like to see a girl put her own foot in her mouth a lot, welcome to it. Come follow me.
I started following you. I love it. You're hilarious on Instagram. My sister bought it. She bought the book. There you go.
Thank you, Anna.
Okay. Duarte said, thank you, Christine.
Thank you, Duarte.
Dyla said, it's a motherfucker is the best book description ever. All right. Facebook says, great interview. Yeah, we had some fun. We had fun.
Thank you very much.
That's it. Christine, thank you. We would love to have you back again sometime. I'll keep in touch with you.
Hey,
and,
if you guys all get your prayers, get your ducks in a row, and get me hired to that show, then
we are going to listen. That is my life's mission. Okay, is to get Kyle on the TV series. I'll keep in touch with you, and if it happens, bro, we're gonna have you back on. We have to.
All right.
We gotta talk about it. We gotta spill more tea, sis. More tea.
Listen, yes means yes.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Fine.
Bye, guys.
Thank you guys so much. We will see you next week on Pounding the Meat, 8:00 Eastern, live on YouTube and Facebook Live. This was Christine Elise. I'm Vinny Vegas. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next time.